Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. I recall that she came to Jamaica long ago when the predetermination kid had one child. And they came, and I opened for them at the time. Drive Scene Paul as of late uncovered that he almost got unalived by Jay-Z for essentially playing with Beyonce and Young Lady on the off chance that that is valid. It takes being possessive to an unheard of level. Yet perhaps it ought not be all that astounding that Jay-Z attempted to do that on the grounds that the things we have caught wind of that man and his relationship with Beyonce crazy stuff. So did Sean Paul actually nearly wind up dead by Jay-Z for playing with Beyonce? Sean Paul as a late had a ton of tea to spill about all that went down behind the scenes of his and Beyonce's hit track Child Kid. As indicated by scene, Jay-Z really hated the tune, and it's going with a hot music video, so he did all that he could to guarantee Sean got removed from melody exhibitions with Beyonce. Genuine Beyonce fans understand what a hit Child Kid was and the amount it supported her profession in those early days. The track highlighted on her presentation solo collection, Perilously Enamored, was one of the most vital tracks from that collection. Child Kid bested the US announcement Hot 100 for quite some time straight and would be Beyonce's longest-running #1 single until 2007, when her track Indispensable took over. Separated from the US, Child Kid additionally made top 10 in numerous different nations. And it was platinum insured 2 times 20 years after the melody's delivery. It is as yet a bop like you just must show up for next to nothing. As unbelievable as that, the music video must be comparably sensational. And when you put two sizzling hot craftsmen like Beyonce, furthermore, Sean Paul together, you realize something is going to go down, so you can comprehend how the tune and its music video started dating tales about Beyonce and Shay. Individuals perceived the amount of science they possessed and resembled. You understand what this is about? I can stand, and it very well may be contended that to an enormous degree, the dating reports made individuals more keen on the tune. And surprisingly, more famous yet, while everybody was as flowing with Child Kid and the sizzling science between Sean Paul and Beyonce, somebody was sneaking in the shadows, irritated as damnation, and it was, as a matter of fact, himself. Sean Paul bounced on the 2 Live team activity at Bergerman Public Broadcast in 2021 to consider the Child Kid period and what it meant for his relationship with Beyonce once he made statements that suggested that Jay-Z hated his and Beyonce's cooperation, which is abnormal on the grounds that Jay-Z was Beyonce's sweetheart at that point, and what beau wouldn't be glad that his young lady was having one of the best snapshots of her profession. And as per Sean Paul, the motivation behind why Jay-Z was so pungent about the coordinated effort was that he was desirous of all the time Sean got to enjoy with Beyonce. It was terrible to such an extent that he said he needed to utilize some level of discretion while recording the track, since he would have rather not get on Jay-Z's off-base side. Shockingly, Sean Paul got on one more meeting, this time with up-and-coming hip-hop, and attempted to move away from the dating reports, suggesting that he didn't take part in sharing the gossip he discussed. How, when he goes on public broadcasts or meetings, individuals rush to ask what occurred with you and Beyonce, and he generally answers with nothing truly happened. The hit melody was dope. Shen added that the motivation behind why those bits of gossip spread so quick was that in any event, when he said he would have rather not discussed it, individuals perceived his quiet to mean something was happening among him, and Beyonce additionally made sense of that. He accepted that it was Beyonce who chose for him to shoot his part of the Child Kid video independently from him and not Jay-Z. He said they weren't hitched at this point. I don't figure he would have impacted anything her visit on was. She's an exceptionally resolved individual. He likewise accused his being removed of music video scenes with Beyonce on her administration, saying her administration reached him to let him know he wouldn't be in that frame of mind with her. Really, not to say Sovereign Bay isn't in a real sense mother yet, that was the start of her profession. And it was possible she accepted exhortation about that music video from her more seasoned and more experienced sweetheart. Currently, get this, Sean Paul and Beyonce performed Child Kid together, perhaps multiple times altogether, including the interesting live excursion they did at the MTV European Music Grants 2003, for a tune that huge and that vital to both craftsmen professions. It appears to be fairly peculiar, wouldn't you say? Well, the justification for why they didn't have such countless exhibitions together is that when they attempted to appropriately play out the melody, Sean Paul abruptly confronted such countless difficulties. He said there were issues with the master apparatuses, which doesn't typically occur, There was issues with my mic in one execution in Germany. That is presumably why individuals began discussing it once, when Bey and Sean were planned to perform Child Kid at the VMA grants they were at that point talking about. Practices when he was abruptly removed of the exhibition. So when execution day came around, Sean sat in the crowd with his significant other Curse, as Bey performed Child Kid in front of an audience unexpected. Tedley Paris Hilton, situated in the line in front of Sean and his better half, turned around and inquired as to, for what reason aren't you up there? Sean said that was quite possibly of the most humiliating snapshots of his vocation. The day after the VMA execution, Beyonce was planned for one more execution of Child Kid in Washington. When Sean arrived, he was sticking around trusting that the show will start when individuals from Boz's group came dependent upon him and said there are 3,000 powerful individuals hanging tight out there for you to make it happen. Sean got irritated, pissed, and said there were 50 million individuals watching the VMAs. I'm not making it happen, and he left. That was the last time he and Bey at any point attempted to perform together. Now, was this only one major occurrence, or was somebody also known as Jay-Z purposely attempting to disrupt Shay's endeavors to perform with Beyonce? The entire circumstance is chaotic AF on the grounds that Jay-Z is an entertainer and ought to realize that Beyonce and Sean Paul needed to act a specific way for the camera for the picture, and it makes no difference past that while all the show between Sean Paul and Beyonce was going on, individuals began discussing how Jay-Z was controlling Beyonce and not giving her any freedom. The primary thing we need to think about here is that in 2003, when Child Kid was delivered, Beyonce was 22 and Jay-Z was 34. And they began dating when Ba was 19 and Jay was 31. The wide age hole has in every case forever been a wellspring of discussion with the general population, with many trusting that Jay-Z had some control over Beyonce, in light of the fact that he was north of 10 years more established than her. A significant number of Beyonce's fans, except Jay-Z, prepared her since she was so youthful when they began dating. Separated from the age hole issue, there have likewise been claims that Jay-Z keeps Bey snared on drugs so she can be the ideal picture. He believes that her should be one of individuals spreading those bits of hearsay is Jay-Z's previous protector, Uncle Ron, who once discussed how used to keep Beyonce medication to control her. Beyonce and Jay-Z will effectively obliterate anybody who takes a stand in opposition to them. Okay, I get the damn Gares, yet you need to recall one thing. I know your most profound mysteries. I know to such an extent about you and what you've done. I know such a great deal about how you got what you are and the manner in which you stepped on a large group. Beyonce, how did you guys finish Carrie Hilson's profession since she expressed something about you? That is the way disdainful you all are, and the way you step on anyone to remain on the memorable top. Your relationship was a business relationship. Monetary to get to the top, to be tycoons. There's no affection. See, what's finished in obscurity will come into light. Keep your statements up. I'm here today, and what I've got to say, I'm going to say it, so don't bring inactive intimidation to me. He also said there was no affection between Jay and Beyonce, because their marriage began as a deal, a way for them to get rich and get to the top. Uncle Ron also blamed them for stepping on people to get to the top, and it appeared like he had receipts to demonstrate his claims after he finished his tirade. Uncle Ron's allegations can presumably be chalked up to the grumblings of a disappointed worker. Yet there's the little truth that Uncon isn't the first or just individual to get down on Beyonce and Jay-Z for their unusual ways of behaving with different big names like